GenC podcast. Welcome to the GenC exclusive. I'm your host, JP Jackson. To my left is Mr. Rizaan Rose. And our special guest today, we have
the owner, the leader, extraordinaire, Giiirrrll.
Hello.
Hello.
Guys.
Everyone's
This is
immediately
so
nervous.
funny. Yeah.
Everyone's immediately nervous. Before we get into the conversation with our wonderful guest who's been roasting me whole day.
facts.
As you can see, we're not in our studio today. We are in a
So
completely different
because of
place.
that, Rizaan forgot how to park. It was just apparently the line was suggestive. So it was either number 6 or number 5. It couldn't be both. so
It was very evident that he's the co-host.
Oaks.
It was bad. It was
Oaks.
pretty.
Sorry, Rizaan, to continue.
The disrespect that is coming from Woodstock today is crazy.
Yes.
So we are at the restaurant called LovKOsMos. Right, so we actually want to sort of explore and have conversations about this place, this story, this venue, and then of course the individuals that make this place, and that is Mishka.
Cool individuals.
So the first question is, what is LovKOsMos? You know, like why the name?
LovKosmos. Well, the name just as it is, it's, you know, do you love cosmos? You know, Mos, you love cosmos.
So it is Mos as in like the color.
Yes, you just
the
love
colour term,
cosmos,
Mos.
man. You just love it. You just love
So it's
food.
not I love Cosmos.
It's like, yeah, you know, I just love cosmos, you know, Mos. And again, at the same time, it's also cosmic love. So it's a full embodiment of the vibration of love, the experience of it, the healing properties of it, the force of it, basically on a grander, the greater scale. It's cosmic, it's infinite kind of thing, and it all starts to play in from that name already.
They have me. Like, because Cosmos and they have me. I literally, I see it now. And I feel bad. I feel stupid. Thanks. But that's good. That's like decent.
Yeah. And
cosmic
so
love.
now LovKosmos, how it started is, it's basically my own journey, and it's almost a movement of sorts.
Okay.
If I really can classify it as that. My background is in the medical industry. I started, behind in the pharmacy, seeing a lot of patients and being part of that greater system. And soon along the line, I started studying neuro-linguistic programming. It was a form of, it's just,
For the audio listeners,
Yeah.
there's no subtitles for this word. Neuro-linguistic programming.
yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yes, got it right.
Gio, bro.
It's not as complicated as it seems. It's a form of understanding of, your neuros, your 5 senses.
Ma'am, I'm colored. We're gonna do that.
You're gonna do that.
like for example, you studying, so I did medical bioscience, and the mate's like, you must be clever. No, I'm not. We couldn't get into medicine.
Well, long story short, it just kind of opened up my eyes to some things, and I've just felt like it wasn't resonating with my deeper purpose. And that oath that I was signing of, I didn't see it aligned to that, where it was people's life first. There was many entanglements within that ship, and it's just something I wasn't aligning to entangle with.
Yeah.
I know. I saw the word is like,
It's called August.
You are favorite because you have so much body language, and the NLP is predominantly understanding how to read the body language and how to
Say to the
understand
chest,
small.
What's going on? What's going on? This isn't about me. Can I also just so just setting wise, you are the we are sort of here at the counter, if you will, getting our coffee. We have, what is this? Cacao balls. Right?
Those are cacao date balls. I call them cacao truffles.
I'm gonna go and brag. Is it what's it, truffle, that mushroom?
Yeah, the truffle oil.
No, but a truffle's also relating to a ball of something, a small.
I'm a brag anyway, they don't have to know.
Truffles. This one has no mushrooms in it, so. But you can get them in.
I'm just gonna try. This was the
So I want to make sure that you're actually not just for the camera. It's actually.
No sugar, no sugar.
Dry
No
mouth.
bad things.
Yo.
Yeah, have a sip of coffee.
I don't subscribe.
Oh, then subscribe.
No coffee, no caffeine.
Okay, so it's moving like the cow, first of all. Because as you know, there's most chocolate is cocoa than is cacao. So cocoa was more like winter's day. Cacao more like earth, wind, and fire. But like I'm on my health journey. But my teeth is gonna be a violation. I'm not smiling all the time.
It's fine, you're
Don't make
fine,
jokes, please.
you're good.
Don't make jokes.
You're good.
I'm gonna
We'll
keep
tell
tea
you,
there.
we'll tell you
just
though.
Same tea. All day. Are you nuts? So wait, sorry. So that's sort of like a good sort of backstep into who you are and what you've done. But we sort of want to get into your food journey. Right, so what are your sort of influences? Because if you look at your menu, there's some fascinating things. Would you want to sort of walk us through some of the things that you offer at the store?
So everything here, food-wise, including like this is a very small, short menu. This was not just for event that I had. I'll take the rest out. But it's all food that is super inspired to biohack your body. So it's biology-backed understanding of how the nutrition works inside the system, this intelligent system, and how we can incorporate our ingredients in a most delicious, tasty, most desirable way, including for your eyes, you know, because I believe it's just super holistic. We don't come just as like wanting to eat. It feeds into our emotions. It feeds into certain things of how we make decisions if we're eating in a certain way. It feeds into how we can operate in the society if we are more or less inflamed, we are more healthy, we're more in a state of well-being. You have people that can be more empowered, and the food then actually is then created by virtue of that. So, you know, even like you'll see in a moment, but like the colorful foods, like we're heading into spring now and knowing, okay, well, from the colorful in there, you know, and I know you said one of the medical bioscience, what is a flavonoid? What's a flavonoid? So you start shaking. He's still buffering.
That didn't work out.
Well, for example, it's
the word flavonoid sounds so familiar, but I'm embarrassed. It sounds so good.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I just don't remember which lecture.
It's a phytonutrient, you know, and
a phytonutrient.
A plant-derived nutrient, and it's like a chemical that is a natural antihistamine for the body, for example. And if we knew those kind of things, we had access to that kind of things, we wouldn't be needing to line up in the pharmacy or be feeling like we're codependent on any other system besides ourselves and what can be even grown by ourselves if we wanted to put the effort in or...
But I think a lot of people, when they hear good for your body or good for your health, immediately that's like taste is out of the way.
Yeah.
Like you're just eating something that you...
Kale. Nacho oil.
I agree. I actually agree. That's where the LovKOsMos, the cosmos, but we love course. Why are we making course? Like, you know, like, so I was vegan for 4 years. I went through my own like little elimination period of like working through understanding my body and doing that kind of work. I went vegan just to kind of like reset to some point. I have integrated meat and stuff again and cheeses and whatever. But where it was at that point, I was like, there was so little things available for me to enjoy. I don't have to constantly prep my own things or just feel really excluded from, and you can feel now I have that added pressure. I'm really trying to do something that's like takes hard. It's hard to motivate yourself, and now you're out there and great. There's no bloody options, and it's we're really lucky where we are now. Like I can even go to my friend's home and know that I don't have to drink their tap water because I don't drink tap water, and like that kind of thing. Everywhere I go, I can always find access to like spring water or you're laughing.
Objection.
Objection.
That's a moose if I can drive by on tap water.
We've established
The city of Cape Town dislikes that.
I dislike the city of Cape Town and their systems. And that pipe don't seem clean, and that water's not consistent. Are you mad? Like I'm a disclaimer. This is my own opinion, and based on my own
I'm drinking
findings.
spring water.
There's some consistency in that, and at least I know that filter system, that mountain is filtering. It's not showing up.
On the GenC podcast, you guys have never been drinking tap water, by the way.
Say less. As in, like, don't speak.
Is this an expose?
I love that. Thank you. See,
Wow.
The
this
receipts
is
was
like my
unnecessary.
And this is after we promoted
I could
that.
have never seen Mishka again. And she would have been like, that tea for his eyes.
See, that guy who took step with that kind of thing.
Listen. So,
Wow.
okay, because I want to. Hey,
Are you not embarrassed?
I'm freaking embarrassed. This is a different setting, but my fanboys are coming through, bro.
This is actually your intervention. This is why we're in a new setting. Rizaan,
That's
I
giving
don't
you
know what to
content.
tell you, but this is for you actually, mate.
So, okay, wow. So what I wanted to sort of speak about is the sort of accessibility of food,
Yeah.
right? In that a lot of what we ate is what we were exposed to. Right? And now that we have more access to food, we are open to trying new things and stuff like that. And so you've obviously explored other countries, which we'll get into in a bit. But what are your sort of influences with the menu that you've created? Besides you want this to be healthy.
Sure. That is a huge question actually, because I do believe that here in South Africa, and especially like if you start going towards the Eastern Cape, and you really start seeing our food system previously has been so colonized in many ways as well. Especially when we look at not as an overall. Now, I mean, there's a shift, but in terms of accessibility, in terms of education, in terms of going into certain types of shops and seeing what is there on supply. These are the apocalyptic foods. This food's not going off. It's full of preservatives. It's full of additives. It's the apocalypse food. You go to why are the people...
I love the classification.
Because why are we not
Apocalypse
getting the things that are going to be the real ingredients? Why are we not getting the things that are real foods? And then that is what we get conditioned. And guess what? These things are highly addictive. They are, they change the feeling of your sensation of flavor.
Expressed.
You lose all these
Saucy.
different parts of flavor in your mouth. So you get conditioned into a certain type of flavor. And that's then where the culture and traditions keep these things alive. Yet it's such a small few years that they were pastoral and we were growing our own food, and we were coming from all these different cultures that were, pastoral is when you can travel with your livestock. So they were moving to different parts. They were getting the best of that crop at that certain time. And then they'd move and the animals wouldn't deplete the land, and then they would. And I'm not saying that that's the only way, but permaculture does actually mimic that, actually, in a rotation garden.
Mishka, give me access to your Google Drive.
Bro! Thanksgiving, I need to write an essay when I get home, bro. Explain the benefits of
Like
20 marks.
Like we don't have subtitles, but I want to just write something for the music.
Yeah, like
Some references?
Some references, yeah.
I'll give them to you, some science references.
this is beautiful, actually. This is
Well, and besides that, the accessibility. So it's so important for us. So why I also then ended vegan myself, because there was sustainability things of practice of why I was looking at the bigger food system. I had now already looked deeply into the pharmaceutical, and I was like, but there's a common blueprint that exists here. They're kind of into holding hands here in this thing, and it was interesting to me. Started getting into the food industry, and that's when I started working with like the PHA food farming campaign with Uncle Nazir Sunday, doing amazing things in terms of seeing how, this is where it became very interesting, because now it became, where does profit sit? Where do people sit? And it kind of shook me in the same way that I started getting shook by being in the pharmaceutical industry personally. I'm not being controversial, but I mean, these are the topics. I mean, we just came from COVID. No one is new to these topics now, right? And it's important to have these dialogues. When I went into the food industry, I started seeing with access, why is organic produce only really accessible at Oranjes of prices? Oranjes of market, that was where you're going to get your vegan produce. Why are those kind of things like, fine, now you go to certain of these other farm stores, but it's so expensive. And I'm coming from like maybe middle class towards higher middle class, but I'm middle class. Growing up, you know, my dad's from District 6, we working our way into this. He's a very hard worker, so alhamdulillah, we could get here. But at the same time, I know if I'm not forgetting my privilege. So then I don't forget my brothers and sisters how are they going to afford this? That means they are forced into certain types of dietary standards. And because our community somehow is very stuck into like, for example, breaking your fast with a dalchi and a samosa, instead of, you know, even like having a smoothie, having the things that we are trying to attain. I'm just saying with soup, which like to know how we can actually really, truly get the best out of ourselves, get the best out of our whole community. If everyone's healthy, it's a better community. People start making decisions differently. Their mood changes, you know, and that's just, it's all interlocked.
Say that one more time. If everyone is healthy, we have a better community.
Of course. Because a healthier person is less influenced. A healthier person is less suggestible to any kind of other ideologies that are not actually going to benefit them, but it may seem like it does in the beginning. So it's easy to hook, it's so easy. It's like the quick dopamine fix is low-hanging fruit. And if we are healthy, we can jump further. We can create a better plan to reach to the higher fruits. Does that make sense? And that's what we're trying to attain. And so when we seeing these things and being like, oh, so averse to it, and I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying like the tap water thing, it just... I know. When we got you there, we'll tell you if you got a flicky in your tooth.
No, you won't.
I will. I'm that how you got a booger by your nose friend. You know?
I won't.
I'm the clean your eye friend, you know. You won't.
You were on a train. Do you want to finish that train? Because I have a thing I want to say.
You can ask me another question otherwise.
So what you sort of, the picture that you just painted there right now was one of my favorite segments in the show is, let's talk about how this is racist. Because the chain that she sort of created is the healthy foods create better communities. And so they were sort of incentivized to make sure that the food that we as people of color got wasn't as, you know, didn't expose us to those type of foods as to destroy community, low key.
I mean, if you look into how agriculture then evolved here, it's like, you know, it doesn't work like that. Monocropping actually took place. We were growing from our spinach to our tomatoes to our onions and knowing how synergy foods need to be grown. You grow your onions, your garlicky, very sulfur-releasing, very smelly things with other things that attract pests. They knew all of this knowledge. We call it now sacred ancestral knowledge, you know, but this is the knowledge. And then monocropping took place because then if you're needing to start creating jobs, so now there's only millies are going to be grown for maize. You're just doing maize. In that area, this is just a carrot farm. This is also the soil. There's so many different aspects. We can sit here the whole day and speak then about permaculture, but we're not. And it's just to get a good image of how things now start falling into place. I personally don't I'd like to watch when I start bringing up racism because racism is the dis-ease, right?
Ooh.
But if I want to heal something, I acknowledge the dis-ease, I understand the dis-ease, but I have to focus on the regeneration now. I have to focus on the reparation. I have to focus on how do I overcome, because I think that is where also our communities, and it is rightfully so. I do understand that there's been a lot of pain, but we need to acknowledge pain and now focus on like how do we build, how do we tap into like what we're really good at, and like how we can be empowered. And the colored communities, the people of the brown communities are killing their own brown communities. It's like the enemy of brown community is ourselves. Like, you know, my dad had a surgery in a Nova Park. He's a dental surgeon, and you know, he had to close his practice, yet he was servicing the community. He would be seeing patients and helping families for years. And that was something, it's something, it's between him and you know, and his creator, but I'm now saying these things. And it was something that I looked up to. And like things like that, he can't go into work because there's like bullets and people are being shot. How? You know, like it's in that kind of thing. Not healthy, can't make proper decisions, can't apply this. And we're all geniuses, every single one of us. I truly believe that. We're a genius. You're a genius, Rizaan. You're a genius.
Words of affirmation.
You're a genius too.
So we actually had and will have an opportunity to experience some of your genius. And so, not to be the colored person in the room.
Básicos.
Yo, nice.
Such a good one.
Wow. So, Mishka's gonna get some.
Are you ready though, Rizaan? Are you colored enough to eat with your hands, or must I bring a knife and fork?
What's going on,
Man.
So what did we get graced with today?
This is like just a cafe meal, right? It's very easy, but this one is a Moroccan chicken wrap. Super easy.
What's the name? Is it called the Moroccan?
I just call it the Moroccan chicken wrap. Some of the other ones have more funky names, you know, like on the menu, I get more creative. This one would be
the previous thing is, are you up now, boy?
What do you mean? Oh.
There we go.
But luckily this is safer on the teeth.
So this what is inside here, it's the spices are where you are going to really clap with the alchemy. And it's the medicine.
Just throwing terms at us. We have
Alchemy is
audio
how.
listeners that don't have access to this.
So, but this is such a good. It's your channel can be so educational, and alchemy is a transmutation. So it started as one thing, and now it's turned into another.
There we go.
It started as ingredients. We turn it into medicine. We turn it into food that's going to sustain the body, feed the body in a certain way.
Okay, now I'm curious now.
So
it's
I kind of did
full of flavor.
Yes.
And the thing that stands out is the freshness.
Yeah.
Like it's very fresh. Is that like the kind of message you want to send in your food?
This is a day meal. So obviously we have like a la carte meal that you can get, like a Kashmiri fish curry or like the Moroccan chicken in a tagine, which is like also just this is a cafe meal and it is a day meal, and for me it's something that I would then be eating for myself. It can also go into a bowl, but I thought it'd be easier, you know, on camera to eat in a wrap.
You know what this tastes like?
Tell me.
So you know when you have like yesterday's food, nah?
And you
put it in a snack which
Look at this.
and then it's more. So it's giving chicken curry in a wrap.
Well, that's the spices, but it's not like burning your mouth by
No. I'm not that kind of person, you know.
So basically, we do a hummus base. There's hummus on the base.
Secrets
It's fine. There are so many of my recipes online because if I die, then what must this information just go to the cupboard with the gravy? I just don't understand that. It's like me harboring money in the bank. Just who cares? So there's hummus on the and you can't make my hummus, so I'm joking. So there's hummus on a toasted wrap, and you can choose whatever you want, a gluten-free wrap or even on a seaweed or however. And then we do the Moroccan chicken, which I've infused with a lot of different spices. That's where you're going to get your turmeric in, your black pepper, you're going to be getting some of the cayenne, you're going to get there's some cardamom, there's like just different spices which then and then also with coconut oil. And then there's a tahini coleslaw, which is this thing over here. And tahini is the sesame paste. And again, it's just tapping into like understanding how your omegas work, how your good fats need to come into your body. And then the freshness is because of the fiber. Everything is just to balance. Even the carrots have been mixed with mustard a little bit because the mustard has a interaction with that orange, the carotene in the orange. That then accesses the anti-inflammatory effect of it.
Sheesh.
So then that's inside there. There's like the fresh lettuce, there's some fresh herbs like coriander.
I feel like I'm gonna live 3 extra years.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
3 extra years.
That's the plan.
Let's do this meal.
That's the plan.
So we actually asked the audience.
We asked the audience. I want you to laugh at my own joke.
I know, and you
I just said, I appreciate you. Take it away there.
We actually asked the audience, like, what feels like a good time meal? So like this looks like a good time. It tastes like a good time, and especially with someone like that.
What kind of good time though, right?
Exactly. It's up
like-
to interpretation because that's bra. He asked the question with that ambiguity, so now we're thinking.
What? Peaches and cream. So we asked the audience. We got responses, normal responses.
Go for it.
Noah Fredericks.it.
Oh, wait, before you go, sorry. So, you've never seen this response. So, just feel free to just gut reactions, respond how you want to respond, because some of it is decent.
Okay.
Like she says, like braai is an example of a comfort food.
Okay.
Being a previous.
I think braai meat is lekker, but it's not the best type of meat you're gonna. If you think of like a fucking good steak. Oh, can I swear?
Yeah, it's too late now. It's too late now.
I'm just being real. Like a really good steak.
Yeah.
But it's more, you see, now that's the holistic part of this human experience. It's the experience with it. There's actually an emotional connection to braai, what there's like a feeling it denotes to. And then, because I mean, you can like, and then also braai, it's like what you're talking about. The only time you ever get to have like this potluck kind of braai. What are you doing?
No. It's just,
I'm joking. like a potluck, kind of like a mixed plate.
So
It's by me. Sorry, it's by me. I stepped sorry.
He was just kidding.
Okay.
One of the responses.
False start.
So actually, a previous guest of ours, Copperloo.dogs.
Oh, Karan
says beef mince biryani. Well, as a comfort food, the stew.
Beef mince stew.
So, like, I think, just speaking about comfort foods,
But giving ice course.
yes, that
house
feeling that
food,
helps.
yeah.
Even your Oma used to make it.
And that's what I'm saying. Do you know that food actually has and that's again the love cosmos. There's so much more to the emotion centers attached to food than the actual meal. Like my dad loves malt tarts.
Okay.
He loves these malt tarts. The story is his mom used to make these malt tarts. And then he misses, it makes him feel like, you kind of, you get this closeness to this person. It's like, it's kind of like that. So that haze course, like my favorite is still like something my mom makes, like, it's such an Indian dish. It's like one of them, there's so many. It's called like curry khichdi and it's so random. Like I don't think you'd know.
I have no idea what it is.
It's not even something you would go to an Indian restaurant and be able to order. It's so maybe like like just normal standard kind of Indian cooking kind of food, but it's like, it's like it just makes me feel certain things. And that for me, I know it's not my favorite taste, but it's something, the feeling is the embodiment of that. Like,
What's yours? Do you have one?
So, yes. So, I have one when I was younger and then one now. Like, so, yeah.
What is your younger one and what is your one now?
So, the younger one was my mother's pie, like a steak pie.
Okay.
Always used to just like give. Like,
And when did she used to make that?
On Sundays.
On a Sunday. Okay.
Yes. And then also for fancy occasions, she used to make seafood curry. That's nice amount. That was the when I'm younger. But then when I'm with my wife, it used to be, now it's a bacon, broccoli, cheese pasta.
Cancel.
Yeah, obviously.
But as long as you.
Yes. So, and again, that was the first meal she ever made for me. And I've seen multiple iterations of said pasta, but it's still a comfort food of mine. And for you?
So.
Also bacon and what's
Basically, yeah. Basically. So the second question. Second question.
Yo, wow.
That was asked on social media.
Scars, comfort, no comfort here.
Every month is Ramadan. So a question that actually resonates with me, and we saw it on social media recently, is to ask the audience, what is your favorite girl dinner? And so
I don't know if you were to get
the almost like the spirit of it is like smate type, like what's your favorite smate type, but actually really like the concept of golden, and I'm uncomfortable because I'm a man and I'm explaining this, so in case I'm mansplaining this. Allow me, forgive me, please. Is basically this meal they just put together, like you don't have anything, and it's like a staple you go to. So we saw some of the responses and it's like, okay, facts. So this person, A Muzzle, I'm assuming your name is Amy, hopefully, if not, A Muzzle. Butter on toast or 5 op chips op die brood. Like straight, like that. You know that when you have that cheese
we all know.
That's vital. A lot of people said Indomie noodles. Is that not expensive? Like quick plug.
No, but you get the 7 rand ones. And then you get the 35 rand one, which is like that super hot one with the crazy chicken on it.
Okay. No, because like you said 7 and I'm like, that still sounds expensive. Like for one pack, it's 7 rand.
Yeah, but you know we are in 2023 and things like what?
How much are you paying for your noodles?
I don't know.
You must be scared if it's anything under 7 rand, because what are you eating then? Eh?
No, because hold up. Shout out to Impul Boys. Noodles on bread. That's most that Maggie Durban curry, man. And
but it's probably because you buy the pack.
Yes, but
you macro pricing.
Yeah. But before we got, because I feel like Indomie is a bit new. I feel like that's a pandemic flavor that came through. Before we had Maggie and then we had Alhami. Alhami noodles was the way. That is the, because that used to come with that oily inside. I didn't know what the fuck to do with the oily. I didn't know what I was doing.
The brake fluid.
Must you shine the bowl?
Oh, and the dehydrated vegetables.
Yo, that was
yeah, that I won't. I can't not.
And like, we're gonna do like the repeat because this is such a good answer. Again, Kapalu Karen said, fish fingers on toast with chutney.
Yeah.
Do you know when last I had fish fingers?
Yes.
Do you know it's like people eat fish fingers like grow up. That's
like high school, after high school. I feel like that is when mom is so busy and that's like the emergency, hope for the best, open the ice cream container, meet the masala.
Like genuine question, at what age is it acceptable
to stop eating?
But then, one of the...
I think moms eat a lot of fish fingers.
Who?
Moms of young kids.
To taste to make sure it's cooked.
And they love it. I think they like it. I think it's something people love.
One of the common responses we also got was a toasted cheese sandwich. Right? And you actually have your take on a toasted cheese sandwich.
Let's say it's not my take. I mimicked those moments when I don't want to think. I generally have some kind of things in my fridge.
Okay.
So I did kind of like what would be leftovers of already prepped things. But I am still very fussy.
Okay.
We have gotten to, so I won't compromise on my bread. I just won't eat a toasted sandwich then because I just won't. So it will still be like.
What is the quote you gave us earlier?
Sourdough bread.
No.
Oh.
Bougie but.
Simple but bougie.
Simple but bougie. Welcome to LovKOsMos. Simple but bougie. You can have that. That's
Because actually, I've never done that. When you told me what's it called? Girl dinner. And I was like,
what?
what is this? Back then, how this foodie thing all started. Come from school, be like hungriest I've ever think I've ever been in my life was after school, in high school. We used to loaf at school. Okay, do you mean to go to the tuck shop? Like, oh my God, I bet you did like in high school, Westerford people. You know.
It's funny because she's saying it with shame, man.
Yeah.
Not shame. It's like
Nah,
we were
low-key,
there. We were really hungry.
I
Anyways.
literally packed 8 slices and 10 slices because it's like first period is like nice for the community. You came to school with ammo.
You came with ammo. Yeah, we were on the
guy.
other end. You see, like.
Sorry, because if you gave the service, they're not gonna come to you for money. They're not gonna love money. So my money's safe off Cajun chicken burger. Sure.
Yeah, but you actually were just in my opinion, you get predators and you get prey. And on school, the predators are not the ones bringing 8 sandwiches. You had the food, the pyramid food, and I'm just
There's no
I knew Mishka was coming for me.
I wasn't coming.
That was fucked up. I don't want to look at you for the rest of this thing.
You sustained us. So we come, and my dad, this is how it would be. Like, everyone would like start making their thing, and then I'd make my thing, and then like with the added garnish at the end, and my dad would be like, did you just make that? Now you'd be shocked. Like, it'd be like this whole presentation, and then I'd go sit, and everyone's kind of like looking at these, like, what? Like, I think there's a TikTok thing like going around, like mine versus his, like, and you're just eating this like Vienna on a bread, and this is like, like a Wembley hot dog now. That kind of thing. So you gonna try this girl dinner?
Please. Like, is it halal? Yes.
How dare you? Definitely.
So this is a toasted cheese.
So it's toasted cheese. It's mature cheddar on sourdough bread with hummus. Like I told you, the hummus layer. Because the hummus, it replaces like a mayo, which then adds heat to the cheese, and then it creates this emulsification. It just melts everything. And then the tahini coleslaw is because it's just so lick and tangy, and go for it. Rizaan?
Go for it.
Bismillah.
Nice, so the cheese is mature. Good enough for me.
The cheese is off age.
I actually
Yeah, exactly. He's like covering all bases. You had to make sure. Did you ask for permission?
You had a warm one early on, so just rate it on the warm one. This is now, TV life.
Jokes on you with more cold.
Jokes on you, it's cold.
But actually, like,
Slaps.
because the thing is, man, that's wild. I can taste everything that you said. Also, there's some cilantro.
Cilantro.
Some danya.
I hope you show the B-roll so you can just see the little
sprinkles.
Cilantro.
And that's actually like a moist segue. Because like first of all, danya, cilantro, what's the third one?
Coriander.
Why? So,
What do you mean, why?
So we
Anyways.
sort of spoke on like some of our favorite like local dishes and stuff like that. I want to know just internationally, or just foreign. What's your favorite like you know, aangemaakte kos from overseas.
Overseas.
What's your favorite, like, international dish? While you think on that, I recently found out. Did you know, or do you know, what the national dish is of England? What is it?
Fish and
Isn't
chips?
something like potatoes? No, something with potato.
Like shepherd's
Chicken tikka masala.
No.
No.
That's simple.
That's
Fully colonized. Fully colonized. Literally. No,
There's
like,
no skante, no? That's like,
Zero.
that for me is like
Look.
audacity.
look, at the same time,
That
a
came from-
moer, I'm proud of them, but like, yo,
Give it back to the puckies,
Yeah.
you know? I'm a pucky, so. I'm allowed. I'm Fatan, I'm allowed.
the views expressing that loud.
Mishka is actually a Pakistani girl. She's like, it's okay, Afghan
Is
is
by
the...
Pakistan. Yeah.
Give
So
me
do you
back
have-
my tikka chicken.
Raw.
Wow.
Keep the change. I'm gonna focus on my labels.
So do you have a dish that you...
It's like for me, it doesn't seem foreign because we in this incredible South Africa, we have like top cuisine of all different parts of the world. So then the most foreign,
It can be dessert also.
ooh, that changes things.
You now added another layer to the game.
It's not knafe you get here. It's like because I was in Palestine, knafe. It's originally
Is that thing
technically
with the
from.
cheese?
Yes, with bat. I've never, it's not that is my favorite dish, but that moment, period, was just off the pan and, you know, it was just so, it was really incredible. I think it was the experience. It's not my favorite dish. It's definitely not.
But that experience was top tier.
That specific one, I've had other ones and they're like, this can't be my favorite. But that one was like off the chains. But I think my favorite would be, I really like things that are very different from me. And especially if I can experience something like really well curated and made. I love like really well done, like Mediterranean, because I just love that kind of foods, Mediterranean food. But nothing beats, and it's not my favorite meal like fish, but if you make a fish like incredible, like I've had the most incredible fish that it just got caught by Hot Bay. We got this fish on the braai. And it had like this lemon dill kind of. But yeah, otherwise like I love sushi. I can't choose a favorite food. It's just I've had really good meals of different kinds.
International one.
And Indian food will always ruk, you know, as long as it's not made. I prefer it with coconut cream than the cream because then I don't want to hurt myself. Because that's what happens.
So Rizaan's also lactose sensitive, so you appreciate that comment.
So to throw, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Yo, bruh, goodness gracious, man. I was actually telling my mommy, sorry, I explained to my mommy that because I grew up in like a Cape Malay, huiskos, you know, different types of breeding, my foods must be flavorful. So like I'm like Indian, Mexican over say like Greek and Egyptian and Turkish, because those foods are very like dull for me. So gun to my head because that's where we're at right now.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you, gang. Appreciate you.
We'll just calm down more.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not the one that's saving you in scenarios.
I actually don't know. Because what country is biryani from?
Pakistan again. It's Pakistan, India.
Much love.
But then you see, because of how, if you start looking at how people shifted across the world, you know, people was in more smaller tribes and then everyone spread. So then you have like a version of it coming from like Malaysian communities. You have versions of biryani coming from, you know, Pakistan region, you know, like a different way of creating biryani.
Yeah.
Food is so impressive for me because it's like, it's had to shift and be inspired and borrowed and okay, yes you may.
Sorry, man. So it's like, for example, in our country, our national dish is papawati.
Is it?
Yes, and it's because Mom explained to me that we as people of color used to make it for white people. So white people really love papoti. So there's like there's two demographics at least that are eating papoti in our country. And I appreciate your first like, why would you like papoti? But the mense moet ook raisins and that's disrespectful. So to transition away from food, you want to talk about this venue itself, right? The space that you have. And hopefully we can show some of the little clips of just like it's beautiful. It really sits my anxiety at ease. One more, wait.
Brilliant.
So tell us some of the events and some of the things that happens in the space.
Okay. So that's more the cosmic love, you know. It's when I moved into the space, it was, you know, it was to get really creative and to kind of create something for the community, like a safe space.
I'm so sorry. Do I have anything?
You're fine. I'll tell you. I wanted to open up a safe space for the community to gain from, gain access to opulence, to gain access to, to feel the opulence. So it's just denoting to wealth, but it's not wealth as in monetary. I thought you are great English. This is what you told me, and I am now realizing that you're the only one who can't keep up here. Co-host. Rizaan, come back here. Give this man a dictionary, please.
Wait, I'm not long because I don't understand the word opulence. I was fine. My problem is that like you decided to explain opulence with an even more difficult word. Bro, listen, we have an audience that we're speaking to, and you're speaking to a certain demographic and certain.
If I meet people in their higher selves that they need to go do the work and get a dictionary and look that shit up, it means that they've learned something for that day. How great! How absolutely incredible!
Open up the space in the opposite.
So basically, what the space has been is to obviously have access to this kind of food, have access to a safe space where they can come and feel safe in. They can feel like they can be anything. They can have conversations. It's been a space where people can come do like remote work. They can plug and play, you know, whatever. It's been a space for workshops. And what I've loved the most is somewhat because of my intention of creating safety, people have been bringing and we've been creating, collaborating on these incredible events that bring up really strong dialogues. It's, you know, from even comedy shows and having women workshops here to speaking about how to do alternative medicines and make it here, to bringing back really powerful skills like with your hands, knowing how to make your own pens. And then calligraphy workshops, you know, keeping old artistry and skills alive, especially because I feel it's very anecdotal. It's an antidote. It's against, you know, what is now happening with technology.
Anecdotal.
It provides a solution for people.
I heard antidotal. I'm like, what are you saying? Anecdotal. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, it provides a solution. I've simplified it already. So it provides a solution for, like, if you're unemployed, like I know for me, I've gotten many jobs just by my skills, just by showing up and doing it. I can do it there. I didn't go to shift training, but I've been doing it on screen and I can do it. And if you put me in front of an audience, I can. And I won't feel like I'm lacking or an imposter in it because the skills are enough. That's where it shows. And I believe in that. And that has been amazing to come into these spheres and also speak about our history. And it just somewhat happens that I'm in this beautiful building. This is a beautiful space, which is now in a greater, bigger, beautiful building that has such a rich history, especially when it comes to our heritage. And, you know, when I first started in this building, it kind of shifts because I kind of respond to now the stimuli of my space. And what was happening is that the word colored was something that was becoming more and more corrosive to me to even hear. I just don't even hear that word colored because, and I'm going to tell you why, because it's a blanketed term. I had a friend come over and he's part of this incredible international NGO. And he's here to implement into different indigenous cultures and empower those communities with feeding schemes of sorts. Now, we were chatting and it was about the N-word. In America, the N-word, right? Next, I'm like, so I wouldn't be allowed to say that N-word, right? Me coming where my dad, from one skip ahead, they experienced apartheid. I'm aware of the traumas existing within the landscape of my past and how I grew up. You know, growing up in a certain area, all of opportunity, we know that, right? Yeah. But now looking into that and seeing like, okay, well, the word, if I'm not allowed to say the N-word, he's like, no, that won't be appropriate. That, of course not. And I was like, but I experienced apartheid. There was this part in so why would I not be allowed to? He's like, well, because you don't have any black in your blood. And then I understood and I said, well, then don't you think the word colored should also be deemed as the C word? It shouldn't be used because even though there's a community that celebrates it, but because they've identified it, you're celebrating your identity, which is okay. But it doesn't need to be with the same term that has been to unclassify you. Are you Indonesian? Are you Filipino? Are you Malaysian? Are you Khoi? Are you San? What tribe of bush people are you? Where are you mixed Caucasian with native? What is your lineage? And I know with my own healing, and this is coming back to a few skips where we have to focus on now how to heal and not look at the disease, how to rehabilitate. It means that you have to kind of look at where the rooting of all of these started. And if we can't claim who the hell we are, like for example, I was living in Thailand and I saw that all of them have this little pinky toe that's like off the flip-flop. Why? And just because I'm a biologist, right? I studied this thing, I don't understand.
I beg you that picture, please.
But then the monsoon hit, and I saw that some of the areas, there's like all these roots. Because back in the day, that would be something that adapted for them to grip onto the roots as they're walking in the rain and stuff. You go like, why certain regions, why is the hair texture different? Why is there a fat deposit under the eyes? Because if you see the sand, how does the sand look in those regions? What is the refraction of light rays? What color is it? Those things, why is the skin darker? Those kind of things, all of those kind of things were all things that for me is so important to understand the coding of for myself. And now if that thing is just dismissed and now your surname's September because you came here on the ship in September, it's really difficult. So that's where this space has been opening up those dialogues and we've been experiencing a real reclamation of who we are, and not to reclaim, to celebrate it now. And then it reclaims, because we claim it, but we are entering into this building now because we are celebrated and we are choosing to come, and it's not shackled, it's not through because we are under desperate attempts. We are here to relax, we're here to be our higher selves, we're here to feel, we're here to be clear. And that's the kind of thing that I have been wanting to create. And there's life, there's trees everywhere, there's plants, to remind people that they are a living force. And the opulence is because we've been created to experience beauty. We've been created to experience the wealth of everything. Health is wealth, and that's why to feel wealthy when you enter into here is to know that you deserve to feel like that. And you have every opportunity to be in that space as well. And poverty and those lows, it's a mindset. And unfortunately, we've all been conditioned, some of us, into thinking, even me, only this year, by opening a business, I had to look into like a heroine mindset, which meant that I would be perpetuating a suffering mentality. And I'll tell you why. Because for me, I really, really revere people that have started from nothing and then they've built themselves up, like my dad, and they've built themselves and now they got there to there. And so even like watching a soccer team, we're always rooting for the underdogs. The harder they had it, the more we're rooting because we want them to win so badly. But here's the thing, it means that we really revere being in a really lower state. Why can't we just be, okay, it doesn't matter where your landing point is. Let's focus on like going up. Even if you started off on a higher launching pad, just go up and then do something with your launching pad, you know. Good people must become really, really powerful, I feel. They must have their spirituality and their goodness in their heart. But go get the money in your hand, go open up establishments, go empower people, employ people, set up schools, set up, you know, systems like clean water, things like that.
Come back, Rizaan, come back. So, that was great. I think Rizaan is.
I'm being here. I'm being here. I'm listening.
Okay.
Opulence.
Opulence.
Were you going to say something?
No, I think that the way you articulated that was great.
Thank you.
I think it's important that we open that space and open the dialogue to, like you say, acknowledge and move forward. Because I think it's very important for us as a people and very important that we do move forward.
And so one of the things that you are doing, and I think this is such a unique opportunity, is that we're kind of saying a bit of a goodbye to the space. And so you are moving, you are changing venues. I said, you don't have to say where, but I guess, what are you looking forward to in this new space?
Let's say it's not even about a space because, and we take it a step back, because if it's a space, then it means I'm looking very close. And if I take a step back, it's just another project I did.
Okay.
Right? And it doesn't mean it's the end. Maybe the project takes a hiatus and I decide, you know. But I feel called again to go into my coaching, and I mean, I'm a psychotherapist. I see clients.
Sorry, is LovKOsMos still going to be, but in a different venue?
Who knows? Like, who knows? Who knows? And as I said,
Supper.
it's going through a shift over as it does. Maybe this becomes an online platform. Maybe it becomes something that is on a greater. But what I've realized through this is that it's okay for us to shift and change.
Yeah.
And like I know what my challenges were with this, and I don't believe in failures. I believe in feedback. And if I'm going to be taking, because how the fuck do you fail? How do you fail? Who deems failure anyways? Who deems it? And for me, even if something like this, it's been amazing and it's incredible. And because of that, I can also just take a step back, like, okay, but what aligns to me, and how do I want to live my life? And how much time do I want to dedicate to certain things? And something like this is a huge project. This is like broken up into three. It's a catering company, it's been an event space, and it's been a coffee shop. And it will still continue to provide amazing, delicious food to people. So it will still be a catering company. I have like really good long-term customers, and I still feel that there's still a niche for that. And it will suck to not have people have this kind of stuff at their events. So they can still do private orders, those kind of things. I'm seeing this head more towards, I've noticed that people are, the haze course thing that you're saying, this is our menu, our a la carte menu. And I want to be able to provide that, because I know when I'm at home, I don't list for fast food, but I don't list to cook. I would love to order something that I know is really wholesome and like just yummy, but not a fast food. Like, can I just trust that you've used like what my mom would use, or my auntie, or like if I'm cooking it myself? And this is the kind of food that I'm feeling people are calling on a great extent. As a space, who knows?
Yay.
Who knows, as a space for more people to come into and experience, maybe to become a pop-up space. Who knows? I'm definitely feeling more towards aligning on guiding people on how to do this.
Okay.
Because, that is something that it's defined in my skill to articulate some of the complexities and to help people. I mean, this is my longest thing now that's been one dedicated practice, and it's been within psychotherapy, seeing clients in a life coaching kind of structure. I structured through like a life coaching course, which means You're going to come, I'm not here to be codependent with you. I'm not here to be like you're 3 years down the line still coaching you. Then it means I haven't done my work. It's like, we create a system which is very client-centric, and for people to actualize who the hell they are and to tap into it. And it's really, it's challenging to sometimes do that on your own. And I really feel like that could be my greatest calling, actually. And so I'm just diving into that. For me, it's
Watch the space.
Watch the space.
This was funny.
Yeah.
In more ways than one. And so we are going to sort of, I guess, say goodbye for now to the audience. And we are going to continue a conversation with you, sort of to get to know you, the Mishka side of things. And you can sit down, shame. Girls being staring. But yeah, those of you that are sitting and listening at home, if you enjoy this content, please do like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more of us.
On the socials.
On the socials.
And we are. Peace.